Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome to another Wild Eye Wednesday. Now, today I'm going to be taking a look at Dark Tales. But before I get into my review, I wanted to take the time to thank Wild Eye for sending me this copy to review for you guys. They have an awesome company. They are definitely where it's at with independent horror. I'm going to put the links to their official website and their YouTube channel in the description box below. Definitely check them out. Dark Tales. Now, this is a horror anthology, and I'm going to handle this the way I handle all of the other Wild Eye anthologies and anthologies in general, to be honest. Here's the front. Here's the back, and that caught my attention right away. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to take this segment by segment, talk a little bit about it. These are very short segments. There are actually 8 segments in this. This is a 2017 film, which runs approximately 84 minutes, so the segments are very short, since there's 8 of them. There is kind of a wraparound, and I'll get into that because I'm not really spoiling anything by telling you this, because it's mostly words on a screen. Basically, the cops go to this house where this man has committed suicide after watching a TV of a bunch of short videos. He apparently hung himself. And these are the stories that he watched. Very short wraparound, and it just kind of sets up the reason for being there in the first place. Now, the first segment is called Friends Forever. Now, this, of course, was directed by Jason Figgis. And it's about a girl who killed some of her friends and ends up in a police station. These are going to be just very general synopsises because I don't want to really give a whole lot away on them because they're very short. Now, this one I gave a 5 out of 10 to. I thought the acting was good, but it didn't feel finished to me. So that was my problem with this one. Okay, the second segment is called B is for Bath, and it's about a man who gives himself to a woman for her... how do I even say this without giving it away? He gives himself to a woman for her needs. I'll just leave it very, very brief like that because I don't want to give anything away. Now, this one was directed by Lomai, and this I gave a 6 out of 10 to. It's not a bad film, but there's not really much to it. The third one is called Night Smiles. This one I had a lot of fun with. This was directed by Daniel Harding, and this one I gave an 8 out of 10 to. I'm not going to say much about this one because I don't want to give anything away, and this one is one of the shorter ones of the segments. The next one is called Dr. Leo. Now, this was done by Jim Strammel, and this was about a man who was held hostage in a basement of a man who's doing experiments. And I'll kind of leave it at that. And like I said, I gave this one a 5 out of 10. It was okay. The practical effects were good. The atmosphere was good. The set design was really good on this one. But it was it was too short, and it didn't really do much as far as a story for me. Like, some of these felt unfinished. That was the problem with the lower scores. Okay, after that one, we have a segment called Life's Cheap. And this one is directed by Benji Carver. This is another really short one. And this one I gave a 6 out of 10 to. It was okay. The ones that I'm not giving you synopsises on are the ones that I don't feel I could talk about without giving some kind of a spoiler. So, yeah, Life's Cheap is going to have to stay that way. Okay, now, the next one, and I'm setting this up, is called Keeper. This is actually my very first 10 out of 10 segment in, I think, any of the Wild Eye movies I've reviewed. But I loved this segment. This was directed by Gordon Bresic, and if that sounds familiar, it should. Now, this, like I said, this one I gave a 10 out of 10 to. and it's about a man holding a woman hostage in a basement and kind of videotaping her. That's all I can pretty much get into. Now, the reason why Gordon Bressick should sound familiar is because James Cullen Bressick also is a horror director. And I believe this person is related somehow, some way, because James Cullen Bressick produced this segment. So, okay. After that one, we have a segment called Michael. Now, this was directed by Brad Bruce. And this one I gave a 7 out of 10 to. This one was okay. I can't really go into this one a whole lot without spoiling anything. So I'm going to go to the next one. The next one is my second favorite and is almost tied with my favorite. And this one is called Pretty Boy. This one is directed by S.J. Doss. And this one got a 9 out of 10. And it basically borders 10 out of 10 territory for me. This is what the picture is on the back. I would love to see a full feature-length movie on Pretty Boy because I think that the material is there and I freaking loved it. It's a slasher and it has all the makings of a, if done correctly, possibly a slasher icon in the making, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. But all in all, this was a fun watch. And of course, I watched this horror anthology because in our top 20 for 2020, that is next, or the end of the month's theme, which all lists should be uploaded on the 30th, or the 31st, or 30th, yeah, 30 days has September, yeah. So the 30th, and I wanted to get this one watched to see if it was a contender for this list. So, is it? You'll have to wait and see. But I actually really liked this horror anthology. Like I said, a few of the segments don't feel finished. And that bothered me a little bit. It kind of took me out of it a little bit on some of the segments. But 10 minutes later, there's a fresh segment to watch. So that's one of the reasons why I love horror anthologies so much. So, yeah. And another special thank you to Wild Eye. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.